In the heart of the wilderness, a settler family made their home amidst towering trees and rolling hills. The sun peeked through the branches each morning, casting a warm glow over their small log cabin. Inside, the air was filled with the comforting scent of fresh bread baking in the oven. This was a typical day for the Miller family, where every moment was filled with hard work and love. The mother, Clara, was the heart of their household. With her strong hands and gentle spirit, she managed their farm and cared for her 3 children, Sam, Lily, and little Ben. Each day began with early risings as Clara prepared breakfast while humming a lively tune. She taught her children important lessons about life in the wild, how to plant seeds in the garden and gather eggs from their hens. Her laughter filled the cabin, making it feel alive and full of hope. Clara's strength shone brightest during difficult times. When storms rolled in, threatening their crops, or when wild animals wandered too close to home, it was Clara who kept everyone calm. She would gather her children close and remind them that they were a family, strong together no matter what challenges came their way. Despite being surrounded by nature's beauty, life for settlers was not easy. There were long days spent under the sun, toiling away in fields or tending to animals. Clara often felt tired but never let it show. Instead, she inspired her children with stories of bravery and resilience. As evening fell, Clara would sit with her children by the firelight, sharing tales of pioneers who had faced great dangers and triumphed. It was in these quiet moments that she planted seeds of courage within them, the very same courage that would soon be tested when trouble approached their peaceful home. While the sun often bathed the Miller home in warmth, it also shone a light on the many dangers lurking just beyond their doorstep. The wilderness was filled with wild animals, and the family sometimes heard the distant growls of wolves or saw bear tracks near their chicken coop. Clara warned her children to be vigilant, teaching them how to recognize tracks and sounds in the forest, which could spell trouble. In addition to wild creatures, the changing weather often posed serious threats. Severe storms rolled through without warning, unleashing heavy rain that could flood their crops and wash away their hard work. Wind gusts would howl through the trees, making Clara gather her children close during the fiercest of storms, sharing tales of how pioneers had braved such challenges. She showed them how to secure the cabin and keep spirits high, even when thunder rumbled ominously outside. Yet another concern loomed over their heads, the fear of conflict with nearby native tribes. Clara had heard stories from other settlers about misunderstandings that turned dangerous. While they desired peaceful coexistence, Clara made sure her children understood the importance of respect for others' land and culture. She urged them to be friendly and avoid confrontation with anyone they might encounter while exploring. Each day, Clara faced these challenges with a fierce determination that both inspired and reassured her children. When Sam returned from checking the traps he had set for small game, she praised his resourcefulness while reminding him about safety in nature. Life was indeed tough, but through it all, Clara taught her little ones that courage meant facing fears head-on, no matter how daunting those fears seemed. As dusk settled over their homestead each night, a sense of unease crept into Clara's heart. She knew that trouble could come knocking at any time, but she also believed that together, with love and bravery, they could face whatever lay ahead. One crisp morning, as the first light illuminated the cabin, Clara noticed something unsettling. The usual sounds of their farm were eerily quiet. The chickens, known for their lively clucking, were silent, and the absence of their usual activity sent a chill down her spine. Clara gathered her children and walked outside to investigate. As they approached the chicken coop, her heart raced. The gate was slightly ajar, swinging gently on its hinges. Clara's instincts kicked in when she saw feathers scattered across the ground and signs of a struggle. Her children's eyes widened with fear. "Stay close to me," she whispered, taking a deep breath to steady herself. Suddenly, from the corner of her eye, Clara spotted a shadow darting through the trees. A large wolf was watching them from a distance. Its eyes glinted in the sunlight as it moved stealthily, ready to pounce again if it sensed an opportunity. Clara felt an icy grip of fear but quickly recalled her lessons about staying calm in dangerous situations. "Back inside!" Clara commanded firmly. She ushered her children toward the safety of their home while keeping an eye on the wolf. Once inside, she secured the door and ensured that all the windows were tightly closed. Clara sat them down, her heart pounding, but she knew panicking wouldn't help. "We will be okay," she reassured them, trying to sound confident. "Wolves are afraid of us too, we just need to be smart." As she spoke, her mind raced with thoughts of how to protect their remaining livestock and keep her family safe. The looming threat of more danger hung heavily in the air, leaving a sense of unease that settled deep into their hearts. That day marked a turning point. It became clear that they would need more than courage to face what lay ahead. Inside the cabin, Clara took a moment to calm her racing heart. The unsettling thoughts of the wolf lingered, but she knew that panic would not serve her family. Gathering her 3 children close, she looked into their worried eyes and smiled gently. "We're safe in here," she said, her voice steady. "But we need to be smart and work together." Clara's determination shone bright as she laid out a plan. "Sam, I want you to help me check the backyard for any danger. We must find a way to protect our animals," she instructed, assigning him an important role. Sam nodded, filled with both fear and pride at being trusted with such responsibility. "Lily, you and Ben stay inside and keep an eye on the windows. If you see anything unusual, shout for me right away," she added. Clara's clear instructions helped transform their apprehension into purpose. She could see that her children were beginning to feel a sense of empowerment. With Sam by her side, Clara stepped back outside into the crisp air. Together, they walked cautiously toward the area where the wolf had last been seen. Clara taught Sam how to look for signs of danger while also performing small tasks to reinforce their security. They checked the livestock pens and ensured every gate was bolted tightly. As they worked, Clara talked about bravery in the face of fears. "Remember, even brave pioneers face scary moments," she told him, recounting tales from her stories that uplifted their spirits. "It's okay to feel afraid, but we must not let that fear control us." The sun climbed higher in the sky as they continued their tasks, sweat mingling with determination on Clara's brow. Her unwavering strength radiated through the air, filling her children with a courage that mirrored her own. Together as a family, they would face whatever challenges awaited them, united in love and resilience. While the Miller family faced their fears, miles away through dense forest and rocky terrain, a brave scout named Ethan was making his way toward their homestead. Having heard rumors of troubles affecting settlers in the area, Ethan felt compelled to offer his assistance. With his keen senses and sharp instincts, he navigated the wilderness with confidence, determined to reach the Millers before any further danger could strike. Ethan was no ordinary scout. He had spent years exploring these rugged lands and had learned to read the signs of nature like an open book. His skills included tracking, hunting, and understanding animal behavior, which made him an invaluable ally for those in need. As he moved swiftly through the trees, he listened carefully for any sounds that might indicate trouble ahead. The recent tales of a wolf threatening livestock had reached him, and he was resolved to protect the family from harm. As he approached the Miller homestead, Ethan noticed fresh tracks in the dirt, signs that a wolf had been lurking nearby. A sense of urgency fueled his steps as he quickened his pace, determined to arrive just in time. He imagined Clara's calm strength guiding her children amidst fear and uncertainty. The thought inspired him to push forward with even greater resolve. When Ethan finally reached the cabin, Clara had just finished securing all entrances while keeping her children close. She spotted him emerging from the trees and felt a wave of relief wash over her. The sight of a strong figure approaching brought forth hope, someone who understood the wilderness as well as she did. "Are you here to help?" Clara called out with a hint of desperation but also gratitude in her voice. Ethan nodded confidently as he stepped closer, ready to offer guidance and support to this resilient mother and her brave family. Little did they know, together they would face not just the wolf but whatever challenges lay ahead in their struggle for survival. As Ethan set off toward the Miller homestead, the dense forest enveloped him in its embrace. He moved with purpose, his senses finely tuned to the sounds of nature around him. The rustling of leaves and distant calls of birds provided a comforting backdrop, but he remained focused on the task ahead. Time was not on his side. He needed to reach Clara and her family before any danger could strike again. The path was anything but easy. Thick underbrush snagged at his clothes as he navigated through the tangled trees. Ethan climbed over fallen logs, their rough bark scraping against his hands, and ducked under low-hanging branches that threatened to whip back and hit him. Each obstacle tested his resolve, but he pressed on, knowing that every moment mattered. Suddenly, as he crossed a small stream, the ground beneath him became slippery. He lost his footing for a second but quickly regained balance, heart racing as he splashed into the cool water. The chill jolted him awake, reminding him of the urgency of his mission. With a quick shake to rid himself of excess water, he continued onward. As Ethan ventured deeper into the woods, dark clouds gathered overhead, threatening rain. He felt a gust of wind whip through the trees and knew that a storm might be coming soon. But instead of deterring him, the thought fueled his determination. He had faced storms before and knew how to find shelter if needed. Just as he approached a ridge overlooking the Miller homestead, Ethan spotted movement in the distance. Clara and her children were outside, preparing their defenses. A surge of relief washed over him. They were still safe for now. With renewed energy, Ethan pressed on down the slope toward their cabin, ready to bring them the help they so desperately needed. As he neared their home, Ethan could feel both excitement and apprehension building in his chest. He would soon be face to face with Clara and her brave family. Together they would confront whatever challenges awaited them in this wild land. As Ethan approached the cabin, he spotted Clara standing guard, her watchful eyes scanning the surroundings. The tension in her shoulders began to ease as she caught sight of him through the trees, and a wave of relief washed over her. She quickly moved toward him, her heart beating faster with hope. "You're here," she exclaimed, her voice filled with gratitude. Ethan stepped closer, taking in the sight of Clara, her children peering out from behind her, their faces reflecting a mix of anxiety and curiosity. "I heard you might need some help," he said, his tone steady and reassuring. "I'm here to make sure you're safe." Clara's eye softened as she looked into Ethan's face. "Thank you for coming," she replied earnestly. "We've had a wolf threatening our livestock, and I was worried about my children's safety." The weight of her worry seemed to lift as she spoke with someone who understood the dangers they faced. Ethan nodded, recognizing the gravity of their situation. "I've seen fresh tracks nearby. We'll need to secure your animals and set up some protective measures." His confidence ignited a spark of hope within Clara. She gestured for him to follow her toward the barn where their remaining livestock were kept. As they walked, Clara shared her concerns about the wolf and the measures she had already taken to protect her family. With each step, Ethan offered advice on how they could strengthen their defenses and ensure the children felt safe. "Together, we can outsmart that wolf," Ethan reassured her, his determination evident. Clara felt a sense of comfort knowing that they were no longer alone in this fight. Her gratitude for this brave scout deepened as they discussed plans to protect her family. In that moment, Clara realized that not only had Ethan come to help them survive, he had brought them a sense of safety and companionship in an unpredictable world. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage and resilience. With a renewed sense of purpose, Clara and Ethan quickly got to work, pooling their skills and knowledge to create a solid defense for the family. They moved swiftly toward the barn together, where the remaining livestock needed protection. Clara explained the layout of the property to Ethan as they walked. "We need to secure the chicken coop and make sure the goats are safe too," she said, her voice filled with determination. "I've already reinforced some areas, but I could use your help to check if everything is strong enough." Ethan nodded, appreciating Clara's proactive approach. "Let's start with the coop," he suggested. "If we can keep the chickens safe, it will help ease your children's worries." He guided her as they inspected the coop's door, making sure it was tightly shut before adding extra support with wooden planks. As they worked side by side, Clara felt a sense of relief wash over her. Having someone by her side made her feel less isolated in this wilderness. They secured the coop and then moved on to check on the goats. Ethan showed Clara how to set up a simple alert system using small sticks placed around their grazing area. If anything disturbed them, the goats would knock over sticks, giving them an early warning. Together, they communicated clearly about their plans and observations. Ethan's knowledge of animal behavior impressed Clara. He taught her about natural signs that indicated danger. "Look for disturbed soil or unusual tracks in the area," he explained as he pointed out some faint prints in the mud. With each task completed, reinforcing fences, checking gates, and setting up lookout points, they fostered a stronger bond of teamwork. As dusk approached, Clara glanced at Ethan with gratitude. They had transformed vulnerable moments into empowered actions. By working together diligently throughout the afternoon, they not only fortified their defenses but also instilled confidence in Clara's children. When evening fell over the homestead, both Clara and Ethan stood side by side, ready to face whatever challenges might arise under the twilight sky. Together, they had created a sense of safety from threats that once felt overwhelming. As Clara and Ethan worked side by side, a bond began to form between them. Clara noticed how Ethan interacted with her children, offering them gentle encouragement as they helped reinforce the defenses around the property. "Great job, Sam," he praised as the boy nailed a wooden plank securely into place. The way he recognized each child's efforts made them feel valued and fostered a sense of trust in him. With every small task, Ethan took the time to explain his actions. "If we place these sticks here, it will alert us if any animals come too close," he said to Lily as he demonstrated how to set up the alert system. She watched intently, absorbing his words, and she smiled with pride when he thanked her for her help. This kindness showed them that he was not just a stranger, he was someone who genuinely cared about their safety. As they continued to work together, Clara felt her initial apprehension towards Ethan melting away. She could see how his bravery in coming to their aid was matched by a sincere desire to protect them. She marveled at how effortlessly he engaged with her children, making time for playful banter that put them at ease amidst the chaos of their situation. When Ethan noticed Ben looking nervous while holding a tool that seemed too big for him, he crouched down to meet the boy's gaze. "You've got this, Ben. Remember how we talked about teamwork? I'll be right here if you need help." With that simple reassurance, Ben's spirit brightened, and he began to contribute with newfound enthusiasm. By the end of their busy afternoon, Clara felt a deep sense of gratitude toward Ethan. His kindness and bravery had not only helped fortify their home but had also woven a fabric of trust among them all. In the heart of the wilderness, where danger lurked, Clara now felt that they had found an ally in Ethan, someone who would stand by them as they faced whatever challenges awaited. Together, they were stronger, united in purpose and resolve, ready to protect what mattered most. Just as night began to settle over the Miller homestead, a sudden commotion erupted from the direction of the goat pen. Clara's heart raced as she heard frantic bleating and the sound of rustling in the brush. "Ethan," she shouted, her voice filled with urgency. Without hesitation, Ethan sprang into action. "Stay here with the kids," he instructed Clara as he dashed toward the noise. He could sense that danger was near and needed to assess the situation quickly. Clara watched, her breath quickening, as he disappeared into the shadows. In a flash, Ethan spotted the wolf, its eyes glinting in the fading light as it prowled dangerously close to the goats. The animal had found a way inside their defenses, and it was ready to strike. Ethan knew he had to act fast. He picked up a sturdy branch from the ground, positioning himself between the wolf and the frightened animals. Meanwhile, Clara's instincts kicked in. She ran back to her children, gathering them close. "We need to make noise," she urged them. "It will scare the wolf away." With her heart pounding, she encouraged Sam and Lily to shout while Ben shook a metal pot they had used for dinner. The loud racket echoed through the yard, blending with the sounds of rustling leaves and nervous goats. The wolf hesitated, glancing back at Clara and her children, unsure of its next move. Seizing this moment, Ethan shouted loudly at the creature, waving his branch to assert his presence. "Get away from here," he yelled. The combined noises startled the wolf, causing it to retreat back into the woods with a snarl. Clara sighed in relief, knowing they had faced a real threat together. When Ethan returned to them moments later, his face flushed with adrenaline but relief evident in his eyes. "You did it!" Clara exclaimed, pride washing over her as she pulled her children close. "Together we scared it off." Ethan smiled at Clara and her brave children, recognizing this victory as a testament to their teamwork and courage. They had overcome adversity not just through strength but through their united effort and unwavering spirit, solidifying their bond even deeper amidst the wilds of nature that surrounded them. With the wolf successfully driven off, a sense of calm began to settle over the Miller homestead once more. Clara took a deep breath, her heart still racing, but a wave of relief washed over her as she gathered her children close. "You all did so well. I'm so proud of you," she said, her voice filled with warmth and reassurance. Ethan joined them, still clutching the branch he had used to fend off the danger. "It was teamwork that saved the day," he said, meeting Clara's gaze with respect. "You were all brave, and that made all the difference." The children beamed at his praise, feeling empowered by their unified effort. Together, they assessed the area for any signs of lingering threats. The goats appeared skittish but unharmed, nuzzling against one another for comfort. Clara and Ethan took their time checking the fences surrounding the pen, ensuring there were no gaps that could allow the wolf to return. "Let's reinforce these areas just in case," Ethan suggested, kneeling down to inspect a part of the fence that looked weak. As they worked side by side again, Clara felt grateful for this new ally in her life. She realized that Ethan's presence was not just a shield against threats but also a source of newfound strength and determination for her family. After securing the livestock and double-checking all the defenses, Clara invited Ethan inside for a warm meal as a token of thanks. The children excitedly helped set the table, sharing their own versions of the evening's events as they ate. Laughter filled the cabin, a beautiful reminder of their resilience and unity. The night grew darker outside, but within the cozy walls of their home, peace had returned. As they settled in for the evening, Clara felt a renewed sense of hope. She knew that together with Ethan, they could face whatever adversity came their way in this wild land. "Tomorrow we'll double our efforts to fortify the homestead," Ethan declared with determination. Clara nodded in agreement, confident that with teamwork and courage, they would overcome any challenges that lay ahead together. Underneath the blanket of stars above them, their hearts swelled with gratitude and strength, ready for whatever adventures awaited them at dawn. As the evening settled into a tranquil hush, Clara and Ethan found themselves sitting together on the porch, watching the stars twinkle in the clear night sky. The air was filled with the comforting sounds of crickets chirping, and the tensions of the day melted away. They had worked together seamlessly, confronting danger and reinforcing not only their home but also their growing friendship. Clara turned to Ethan, her expression a blend of gratitude and respect. "I can't thank you enough for your help today," she said softly. "You really stepped in when we needed someone the most." Ethan smiled back, the flickering lantern casting warm light across his face. "You showed incredible courage too, Clara. It's not easy to protect your family in times of crisis, but you did it with such strength." He reached out and patted her shoulder, recognizing the weight she carried as a mother. In that moment, Clara realized just how significantly their hearts had intertwined through shared experiences. Not only had they faced threats together, but they had also forged a bond built on bravery, support, and mutual respect. The challenges they faced had transformed two strangers into allies, friends united by hardship. "Tomorrow, we should continue our work," Clara suggested thoughtfully. "There's still much to do." "I'd be honored to help," Ethan replied earnestly. "And maybe we can teach your kids a few more outdoor skills too. It'll be fun." Sam, Lily, and Ben, who were playing nearby, abruptly perked up at the mention of new adventures. Inspired by Ethan's optimism, they eagerly chatted about what they wanted to learn. As laughter filled the air once again, Clara felt a warmth in her heart that hadn't been there before. This experience had not only strengthened her family's resilience but also introduced a lasting friendship that would carry them through future trials. Clara knew that together with Ethan, and with the love of her children, they could navigate whatever life in the wilderness threw their way. In a world fraught with uncertainty, they had built an unshakable foundation of camaraderie and support. With hope in their hearts and confidence in one another, they looked forward to tomorrow's adventures under the vast expanse of stars, ready for whatever challenges lay ahead.